I have to be the value. There must be. To remove something out of this. No, you have to only. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Of course. And my one. Why my yes. First length will give us 4. Give us 4. So basically, we need an array without counting at 0.
This array is
0, 1, 2, 3.
Objects.
The foot length give us 4 objects.
2.
1, 2, 3.
But this side,
So the first I has to be
I'm
3.
not sure how
That's
to catch them.
And if you have to replace these two things,
Right.
then forget what to
Okay,
catch.
so I
So what
think
I
you're
what
gonna
I
do
would
really
forward
close.
loop over.
So, because you have the list element, but you have
So I have
the
condition.
line, right?
Condition to null or
That
0.
was the exercise.
Yeah.
This one is
So
empty.
try to do the other one.
Sorry, if it is not empty,
So now we
it
have
is not.
now this element is an error.
If the URL is available, let's say, and make this to
Point
it
somewhere.
does not just change the
First element
names.
points.
Yeah.
First element.
I think that's okay.
Second element.
This side like
Second
and then it's
each loop iteration.
So you have that one element, the list element, and I that introduce HTML equals
Okay.
the kittens, I that list. So here you're adding
How are you
information
doing?
to that, and
How are you
that's
holding up?
so for the
That has
URL,
not really been
you
typed
just
since I came
define
here last time.
to get the image stack inside
Yeah,
that.
that one.
Right.
Image, how can I catch the image
You
text?
get that with the query selector, right? Remember
I will generate another variable, which
Yeah.
is catch it.
Yeah.
And then
change the source. Yeah.
just this, just
I mean,
I will make it create and put it here.
I think
Practice.
This one. This one.
Now you will console log over here.
right. So right now we have the list element. So we have this, we have and then let's go back to
Okay.
and so we want
No.
to
Do you need help?
first of all and which one the first one and put that in a variable. So let's do that. Remember to create element.
What do you have to do?
If this names comes before I believe this one or yeah, it should come after each one laying and then yeah.
Image. Now in the source, how will again I will create
into the DOM.
source. Before,
Just need dot
before,
src.
you know, in the other okay, we added your name to the report.
So let's create the where
Okay.
Now we want to.
So,
Oliver,
does this work?
the first
let's say
element
name.
is Fifi, the second element. And
how can we check if it works?
and now try to add
An element.
the first
And it's in each one. So we say
and Oliver the first element.
Yes. So you have made like a home.html. Okay. Yeah. So we need to run that in the browser,
now we need to
I think,
add
or do you
the
use the
image
terminal?
of that to be
How have you been running JavaScript files?
so how can we do that?
Okay, yes, let's do that then.
Before we need to change the image before we add it, I think it's like right?
What, sorry?
We need to change the actual name because my names are not coming forward.
But if you go back, you can show exactly where where are your names appended to your HTML?
Before it was like here, and I just moved it. After I'm thinking about moving the name up in
Well,
the.
that's the images.
Can I see something?
Okay.
Like this.
It's okay, but that doesn't change it.
Yeah.
So, where are you appending
So
the
see
jobs?
here you load with JavaScript, and I guess so here you load something called index.js, but
Tell me what this line does.
It's putting in the body.
In the body.
Yeah, but the problem
Yes,
was
exactly.
before I did
and now we want to open this HTML file, but in the browser, not with the terminal. So you can do that.
Exactly, but where do you
You can either you can find.
I
I don't know. Can you
put
open the HTML file from here?
well, and then
By right click.
Exactly.
and after that, like in the child
Okay.
But you have.
Yeah, but we want to open
in the array.
the browser.
In the array, you're looking over. You have.
I'm looping over exactly
Where you want to append.
yeah.
Yes, that is right. But we want to see the output. We want to see what it logs out, so we can see the file from the right.
But I'm already appending it in realize, so then it's
So
like
I would recommend
Because we're appending it.
opening this.
So
So
it
you
should
can open HTML in Chrome.
No, it should be
Yes.
appended to list element.
So
Element.
you append to this element
So you can just double click the file. You can find it in the folder on your system, and just double click it, then it
then
will
it
open
means
it in
like we
Chrome.
use document
Or you can take the file and drag it into Chrome, and it will open it.
But we are somehow referencing to
So
document.
if you say
Yeah.
show an
Yeah, because it's
Explorer,
List.
Yeah, but I get it.
So,
Yeah.
but
then
to
you
which
can
list?
say, oh,
So we want one for each. Should be
There we go.
an array.
okay. So if you press F12 now, yep. Yep. Sorry, FN and F12. Yes.
That's fine, it's fine. The name is just underneath the.
You can see here in the
Now you
console.
have to make, because I mean, this name is Oliver, this name is 58, this name is.
There you can see what you're logging out.
Find it. If what happens if there's no way out, then
Have you done that
You
before?
use.
you know what?
Yeah.
You go back to the code.
I don't know if that is the
Yeah,
way,
but there's always.
but it is at least one way to see the code you write in JavaScript.
Like what I want to do was my figure was like the kids I don't know. It should return true.
Okay, so there's two ways you can do it at 12, or you can right
If
click,
it isn't true, then we'll just skip this.
and they say, then
Right
say
now it's
inspect
true.
element,
Yeah, because the last one
And
didn't
then
have
take
a
it
URL,
as
so
well.
if that's false.
But it
then
does
you
something.
can again click console.
Oh yeah,
It's because
it
it
works,
is
it
true.
works, it works. Sorry.
Oh, you're on Internet Explorer now. It's the same.
So
Okay, so far so good.
we
So
need to
the first one,
this inside
loop
the-
through all list
We need
elements.
to, when we go through it, we want to
So you've made a loop here. Yes. So-
The first line in some loop that goes.
What, sorry?
We created an H1 element.
Yes, exactly.
That's in line.
So first I would say let's try and just log out the individual list elements and see if we have these
Okay,
options.
so now we are
We want to
Inside.
write
So let's try
And
and
inside
yes,
the list
exactly,
breakdown,
just log out the list elements.
we want to
And
first
I,
create an
so
H1.
save that,
And you've done that.
and then we go and reload it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
You will append.
So that's the task.
Now you want to
And
append
this element is not defined. Okay,
to.
so now we have something to work with.
What do we have in JavaScript inside the HTML?
So that's the second part. So you need to,
Yeah,
it's step number 5. If
Yeah.
the URL exists in the object, change the source.
So do you know what list element is not defined? Do you know what that means?
But
What
before
JavaScript
you-
is telling you?
Each
Yes,
of them
exactly,
would
it didn't
define
find it. It's
Yeah,
like,
because you want to create
it's kind of like saying,
Oh, yeah.
hey JavaScript, can you find this
Do you
variable for
somehow
me?
have a list
And it's saying, I cannot find this, it is not defined. So why is this not defined list element?
a variable in your cookie exactly. This is for you somehow use the source
Yes,
list element.
but you're looking for like list element.men, but the variable called list There is none. There's a variable here called kittens, comes kittens, and then I see inside of this function, I see that there's a variable called this, and you have another variable called this element, this elements, not this element.
That's correct.
Here you have an S, and here you don't have an S. Okay, so there is no variable called this element.
So
That's
the
what
only
it's
thing
saying.
that,
It's saying
this is just a string, right? This
you have
is
not
just
got
called
this.
Yeah.
And what we need is that to be an H1 with that inside.
This is better, but let's try and relook at it.
And
Yes.
H1
And why is that?
Which one is not to
Put something else.
like call it.
not the
No, so
No,
you
try
need
go
to
back
add
to the code.
H1 element
but you
inside
this
the
one,
leaf.
yeah, okay.
So,
already points, so
this
we
element
have to use
Line.
instead of this.
no. This one cannot be reached down here.
Yeah, because it's out of them.
Yeah.
It's out of scope.
But you can
Remember that
This
we
one
need
is
one
only
by
defined
something.
from that
So
curly
this
bracket
should be just
to that
unit.
curly bracket.
So we're just
It's not defined out here.
adding the
But
A1
inside
that
is this
one is
function.
defined.
So if we took this for loop and moved it
So
into
we
this
created that.
function, that would
We
work.
added that. And
But
this,
like
this is
your, this
so
one
we need
is
to
already
change the
arrayed.
new naming iterates.
But then we need to add an extra one.
Remember we did that before?
And something really nice that I want you to all the time do is indent your code correctly. Okay? But indent. So because now this looks like it's on the same level, you know, the function and the for loop, but it's actually not. But you can do it like this.
You don't want to push them into an array, you
Try
want
that.
them to the
Shift and F.
Where?
Yes.
zero.
Yes.
So we actually have.
Yes, Alt. And
You
shift.
don't want to
An
push them
index
into
and
an
we
array.
go through it. So we want to put
If.
zero, right? And we can use I.
But you already have them in the array.
Is it not visual?
Yeah, you have them in
Ah,
the
it's
array.
atom, sorry.
The
I thought it was
name
visual
that
code.
now
With
is
no using array.
Okay, I don't know the shortcut for it in
So you don't need them as array.
probably there is
Yeah, we
line.
You have them
It is
in an array of objects.
Yeah, that name but outside the brackets.
So here, basically what you do is you create an array, yeah, which
Yep.
has all
I
the
think we're
names.
gonna do it together now.
But this,
Okay, no, I don't know.
Alicia?
But you can find the shortcut where you press something on the keyboard.
Yeah, sure.
So you can like, yeah, I don't know. Add to files.
So, I need your help now because, like, I know programming, I know JavaScript, but like this HTML and JavaScript, that I've never done myself. So, append child I've heard for the first time today. Yeah. So, let's see. So what I like to do is to have a grasp of what's going on. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I put a return of list elements in here, and then I save this, and then I'll do like let. I'll use a temp, which I'll delete in a bit. This won't stay, but let's do like this, and I can run this.
Yeah.
If I do like this, is it the right one? That's yes, I think so.
Yeah.
So now this is run. I go into the console and I have my temp variable. You see that? Yeah. I return this guy into my temp variable.
Yeah.
You see that?
No.
So this code is now run in my browser. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm returning these list elements, and these list elements are written into temp. Yeah? That's
Yeah.
all that happens.
Yeah.
Is that the change image?
Change images.
Oh, okay.
Change
That's a
images?
function. Okay.
Yes. I go into here. Here I can now write temp,
Tell if there's this before.
and this is my 4 LIs.
Yeah.
You see that here? Yeah. So these 4 LIs are these list elements. So my list elements are 4 LIs.
Yeah.
They point here, here, and here, the same way as document.body points here. Okay?
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. The one of them points to body, the other points to LI elements. Yeah? So, that's good. Because now I can delete this, but now I basically know where I'm starting off. I'm starting off with the elements, and I want to loop over them. So let's do a for loop. Oh, this is brilliant, isn't it? Escape.
Yes.
So this, and then list elements, because I want to loop over all the lists, yeah? And now in here I could do console log list elements. Save this, run this function down here. Yes, yes, yes. I'll come back to that. So everyone understands this code? Here I operate it, and now I get like list element, list element, list element, list element 4 times. Yeah? Nothing really changed yet. I just got it out in 2 different ways. Yeah. Everyone understood that? Do you see how I'm in control of what's happening?
Yeah.
I'm debugging my way to the solution.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is the list element? It's this. Now I'm going in loop. I'm giving it out. Yeah. So this list element, what do we actually want to do? We want to add a header in here. Yeah. So let's just add a string in there, which is called name. Yeah. So I have a string called name. Yep. And this one I now have to append in there. So what was it? I have to create a new element, right?
Yeah.
How is that going to be? Is equal to document create. Everyone understands that? H1. And what you also see is that my list element is an array of objects somehow. Now, header inner HTML, was it? Is equal to my string. I can just do name immediately. So delete this. And then header, what was that? Then I have to, exactly. Now I have this header floating around, but it's not attached to my DOM yet. Yeah. And where do I want to put it? Exactly in here, yeah? In here. And the next one I want to put in here. Yeah? So basically, I want to attach them to this guy. Dot append child header. Do you see how I break this problem up in little problems?
I'm lost.
Lost.
Yes.
We don't want you to be lost.
Yes, that's why I'm stopping.
Yes, good. Yeah. So, I know that I have to add something in here. Yes? Between image and \li, I want to add a name. Yeah? So, or a H1, name in a H1.
You want to add the name of the kitten in the kitten.
Exactly. But I don't care about kitten yet.
Okay.
I just want to put a string there.
Okay.
Because later I'll take the string from kitten. So right now I'm not interested in the kitten. Yeah? So I'm breaking the problem into very little parts. Yeah? So, yeah? Because I could immediately think, okay, now how do I get the kitten name in there? Probably I could do it, but let's do it like one time by one. I want to put a string into li. And you understand this line, line 21?
Yes.
Yes. So what happens if I'm finished with that? Bam. This is the console logs. And this one should say name, name, name. Yes? And now it's quite easy to, now I'm already there, and the next step is just .i, yeah?
Dot name. No.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah?
Quotes.
No, it shouldn't be quotes. because we are checking a property, key.
Yeah.
So key should be in quotes.
Yeah, we could also do like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
But we are using a dot implication. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can do both.
not
So, and suddenly, now I use the kittens, but I broke the problem into many little steps. First the loop, see what comes out of the loop. Or first list element, what is list element? Then loop, what is in each of the elements of the loop? Then attach something to the DOM, no matter what it is, just get something in there, and so on. And then, yeah, shall we delete your console log? Choop. And then the next question was?
To change the URL of the image if the URL key is in there.
Okay. Could I do, yeah, but you think this works here?
No, because we have to check in kittens if it has a URL, then put an image.
But I first want to like look at the URL. Will this work? No? No?
No,
That's-
because we just got in this element there are
Oh.
allies from HTML instead of kittens.
That won't work. So I can't access the URL like this.
You can do kittens i.url, then you can hear it because you want to check kittens.
So I have to like kittens URL, right?
First, we have to catch the image and then source of the image.
So now I console log. Yeah. I just want to give me something out that I can work with. Yes?
I think you can attach URL by document
Dot, if you are,
tag name.
Get tag name.
no, it depends
But
on
I don't know which tag.
Document dot get element by
what are you
by
trying
tagging
to check?
parentheses, IN.
This one.
Yeah, IN.
Okay. What would this do? But which one of those would it give me?
No need to do from go to
It will give you-
No, like wait a sec. Which one of them would it give me?
No,
Like this one or this one?
yeah,
The list element is the most unique. No need to go through the documents. If you go through the list element, we can reach the image.
Exactly.
Within the image, we can catch the source of the image.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we already have this list elements,
Yeah,
and the first one of them points to this guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
The second one of them points to this guy.
Yeah.
So this is already a pretty good reference to start. Yeah. So how do I access the image tag inside the list elements?
This is the good point. By thought, but I don't know. I mean, list element, first list, second list, third list.
We can, we have already all the lists. We can access the images from the list, put them in an array, and then for everyone should check like if we were putting all the images in image array, then we can do image.source, and that will give us.
Okay,
source.
but like how do I get from list element 0 to this image tag?
Well, wait a minute, because I have
I
many
can make
different.
another variable, and that's below the list element. Let's say list image. I can catch the list elements query selected by image.
I don't.
I mean list element.
Yeah.
Get element by tag name, parentheses, first step, UL or LI. After that, kosher 0 or I, that index of the
Sure. But I want to somehow use list elements.
It could be list dot
The same
query
thing.
selector all and then image.
Line 17.
So
Is that
list
correct?
dot
So, but you want to use list. So list
we are
dot query
selecting-
selector all
Yeah.
will give all of this, right? Because list is this.
And then we are putting it in a loop then because this will select all and put it in an array.
So let's see where we are now and what do we have access now. We're in the loop. We have an index.
Yeah.
So how can we query selector or get elements by tag name only inside the element that I am in now?
So right.
I need a question. I don't understand the question.
So we are now standing, we're the dumb computer, and we're standing inside of this loop, yeah? I is equal to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're inside of this loop. Yeah, you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I is equal to 0, yeah? So our list element 0 points here, yeah? And now what we want to do is get this image tag. We are pointing at this guy, but we want to point at this guy.
And I share the selects in the line code. Is it possible to make it in this way? I mean, the same way, line.
Query select.
So what will this get? How many elements? List elements, query selector, all.
Image within the
Yeah.
element.
What?
It will get all of them,
And
right?
It will get all of them. Then we will apply we can put the I, the next of it. We can catch the
Yeah,
image index.
that could be a way, but I can think of a
Yeah,
better way to
it
do
will
it.
catch the whole image and then image one.
Because
One,
inside this loop, we only need one image. And the one that is inside the LI that we are in. It doesn't matter if we have 4.
list element is
We
the
only
list.
need the one that is a child of the LI element that we are in right now. So how could you change that so that it returns only the LI elements that are inside the current LI that we are in?
But can you see this? Can you
Yeah.
see it? Because I want to say, but I cannot say more. Because what I think was like, for me, I think that I'm now at the first list.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing it in the list. All the images are going here.
So
And there's only one. already.
Yes.
So
that's another way to do it, but the way that I'm thinking is exactly what Rasmus was about to write. So inside the element that I am in, get that image.
Okay. Now
So
That
not
goes
through all the list,
Yeah.
not through all, just
that's
scoping that to the element that I'm in right now, and get the image that is inside it.
So we haven't had this function today yet, yeah? Okay, but there are thousands of functions out there I don't know of. How do I find this function?
Search.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So what you must have thought, or what the thinking must, how do I select a single tag within other tags? Yeah. So your question must have been, I'm in this tag and I want to search within this tag, not for all tags, but only for one tag. And then you see how similar these two are. One of gives you all and one just gives you one.
And then, I mean, we have 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this. This could also be done. So if we had just get elements by tag name inside the list elements, we could also do that. So the trick was just scoping down to the list element in I. And so I want to say if kittens in I.url, then that image source is equal to my kittens object .url, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't do anything. Do I need an else for this?
No.
No, because I just want to update if it is there. If it's not,
But,
nothing doesn't matter.
but should we have return here?
So we'll just update this, and in this case, that's all we need to do. We don't need to. Thank you, Yana. we don't need to return this. So I haven't tested this code. Let's see if it works. And this one, for the last one, since it wasn't there in the URL, it doesn't come in and change this. It leaves it the same. And the other ones do.
So when I was just sitting here, I was hoping you would think outside the box, you know, outside the box. Something we haven't had yet. Yeah, and whenever you need something, Google it, like look for it. Think, what do you need? Not what have I already done, or like what pieces are there. Like, because when we are programming every day, like I'm Googling every 10 lines of my code.
Yeah, it's true. And we had to cover today also debugging on the browser, and we didn't get a chance to. But just so you're a little bit familiar with this, if you go to inspect element and then sources, you can see here the files that your web page is using. So this is our HTML, which is the one with the placeholder that hasn't changed. And this is our index file, which has the code that we wrote. And so if you look at that other part, we have this watch, call stack, scope, and breakpoints. And I'm just gonna, on line 19, I'm gonna click on it. This is on Chrome. It is the browser that I use. And it will add a breakpoint. So you can see in that breakpoints now it has the line index 19. I'm gonna refresh this. It will stop because I added a breakpoint. And you can see the call stack is exactly the same thing that we learned earlier today. It has the change images because I called that, right? I called that on line 28, and I am in there. So I'm going to go, and you can see the scope. These are the elements that I have access to. This is my variable list that I created, and this is the variable list elements that I already created as well. And this is my I variable. So you know, here is the browser telling you the values of all of the variables that you have here. And I'm going to go into that. It says a step over next function call. I'm going to click on that. It goes to the next line. And you can see now I'm inside something else. And there you go. Next, 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 next. And you can go through so the for loop now you can see the block I is now 1.
You can literally walk through your code step by step by step. Isn't that amazing? And what you can also do, can you actually type in console log now?
Yeah.
And type in I?
Is 1.
So you can also now program, like I call this poking around, because you're in the program, and while you're in the program, you can poke at the variables. You can like, hey, who are you? And hey, who are you?
Manipulate, and also in that, I do something in the during running program.
Pardon?
I know that keep the value during the.
I think so, but that's not a good idea. Because then it's only there when you debug it, but not when you run it again. So when you actually change code, stop the debugger, add logic, right? That would you will also recommend.
Yeah. Yeah, so instead of adding the breakpoints here, you can also add, I showed you earlier today, you just write debugger, and it will stop there. And there you can see also where are your variables, what is this, what is in your global scope, which we have nothing, or we have a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But we don't have anything. This is the browser. And there are a few resources in the GitHub for this, for code commenting and for debugging in the browser. So this is like a very brief overview because we honestly didn't have a lot of time for it. But always use the browser to debug and comment whenever you think this is not clear. Like for anyone that hasn't seen my code before, always write a comment. Like for me, I would say that my code right now is pretty clear. I don't need to add any comment. But if I had some weird stuff, I would say like, yeah, this is because blah, blah, blah. Or only add if, yeah. But that's something else.
Could you show me
Yeah, so one more thing. Rasmus just showed me that we have, if you go into, this is the JavaScript the JavaScript folder in GitHub that you're familiar with. So if you click on branch and then choose your class 8, and then go to JavaScript 1, and then for example week 2, I'm gonna do the same thing for week 3 and go to classwork. These are all the exercises that we did that week. During the class. So I'll add the same thing for week 3. I'll have a classroom folder here with all of the files that we did today.
Because so far we posted it in Slack all the time, and then Slack became so long.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we have to go back.
You are in this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also important for you to find this. So it's in JavaScript, and then you can here go to the branch class 8, and then go through the, yes.
And you get a new set of mentors from next week. So, or
Yeah, we have Christmas break.
Oh yeah, we have the Christmas break, sorry. And then we're back January 6th.
Yeah.
And you're starting JavaScript 2 now.
Yes. Yeah. And the homework you still have to send to us. You have like an extended period of time for your homework now. So if you haven't done the homework for the last 2 weeks,
It must
that's
be
your
good.
chance.
Yeah, good variable names.
And you can
good.
write me over Christmas. I'm bored over Christmas. And if it's necessary, we can set up Skype. And I can teach you that. Or I don't know if Alicia wants to Skype, maybe we can have a Skype session the 6th of